Having cars like this is not cheap. And I think it's about time I expose myself and tell you what my expenses are like every single month down to my YouTube subscription. So what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. And if you're new to the channel, this is what I do for a living. I make videos on cars. I make bad financial decisions and make an income from it. And I'm gonna break down the payments on the cars, insurance on the cars, my mortgage, my water bill, my electric bill, and so much more to then give you a grand total of what I have to spend every single month, no matter what. And after we're done talking about how much money I spend, we're gonna go ahead and do some more mods to the cars before I leave for Texas. Before it gets dark, let's go ahead and hop in the first car and go over the expenses of that one, my M4. Now, some people will be very technical with this kind of stuff and they'll pull out Excel spreadsheets, Google Docs, and put all their expenses on that. No, I have a sheet of paper. So the M4 I bought for $20,000, I believe a little over 2 years ago. And I bought it rebuilt title in cash. So that means there are no actual payments on this car. So with that being said, the only thing I have to pay on this car monthly is insurance. And then of course gas, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So the insurance payments on this car is $168 a month. Now this car, out of all the cars, probably costs me the least amount of money every single month. $168 is not that bad. I can justify spending that every single month and never getting rid of this car because it is honestly my favorite car and I've been through the most with this car, and $168 to keep it, it's not bad. And that's also keeping it and being able to drive it. Technically, I could just not insure it and have it sit in the garage and it would cost me $0. But we got a lot of other cars to drive and talk about, so let's hurry up and get home. This car is so low. It's everything like that. Now sadly the M4 has no mods planned for it tonight, so it is gonna stay in the garage and the key is gonna stay hung up. But next up we have my Mark V Supra. Now this car I bought about a year ago now, and I also bought it in cash. So this car is also fully paid off. We'll open the valves again once we get out of the neighborhood. Valves open is so much better. But like I was saying, this car is also completely paid off. And with that being said, all I have to spend on this car is gas, maintenance, and insurance, just like the M4. And this car is actually $3 cheaper on insurance. It's $165 a month, every single month for this car. And while we're here, let's go ahead and talk about how I'm gonna calculate maintenance and gas. Since I can only drive one car at a time, the maintenance and gas is not really as bad as you'd think. So, after averaging everything out, $400 a month in gas across all cars. I believe that's a safe average to go on, especially since sometimes I go on road trips, sometimes I don't. Now, as far as maintenance, a lot of stuff that I do, since this is my job, is sponsored, which means some maintenance stuff is also sponsored. Now, these cars are not cheap, they're very expensive, but after calculating all of the sponsored parts and everything, I can't say who was necessarily sponsored and by how much, but I would say a safe estimate, because there's things like tires and stuff that I don't get sponsored, a safe estimate per month across the board, $1,000 in maintenance for the cars. All right, let's head back home and hop in the newest car. I think I just scared someone. And hop in the newest car, the C06. So, you know, second thought, add another $200 in gas, because now that I think about it, we drove the C7 all the way back home from Pennsylvania, and that alone was $680. And that's not even including the fill-ups I have on this car and the other cars. Granted, this one is almost full right now, but still. Let's say $600 a month in gas. That sounds more fair. Now, one of the things I have planned tonight is actually for this car, so this one is not gonna go in the garage just yet. It's not necessarily a mod, but it needs a must-needed oil change, because we're planning to go more power, and my tuner said that the oil I have in it right now is not the best idea. So we're gonna go to a heavier weight oil, 5W40. Now this car is also paid off, and I still have to register it. I've gotten pulled over twice with this car with no plates and no registration. So we're gonna be smart tonight when we're taking it out, and hopefully we don't get pulled over for a third time. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The C0706 probably has one of the best stock exhausts. Now while the C7 is warming up, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the house. I bought this house a little over a year ago now, and let's just say interest rates were not the greatest. I got in on this house at a 6.25 interest rate with an FHA loan, and I pay a lot for this house, a lot every month, and a good majority of it is interest. So let's not dance around this number. Let's go ahead and say it. I pay $3,997 every single month on my mortgage and home insurance. Now, I do put extra money down on principal almost every single month to help how much I pay in interest in the long run. I do plan on refinancing the home if and when interest rates drop. Don't know when that is, so until then, we're not refinancing. Now, the car is not completely warmed up yet, so let's knock two more things off the list. Wi-Fi. Every single month, I pay $85 for Wi-Fi. Now, I do need really good Wi-Fi. It's fiber because I want to have these videos upload quick for you, and it saves me time. So Wi-Fi is $85, and then electric, big one, $160 a month. Is around the average. So with that being said, the C7 should be warmed up enough. Let's go ahead and take her around the block. Now, I don't have a radar detector in this car, so I do feel a tad unsafe, so we're not gonna go super crazy in this car. But with that being said, this car is so worth the amount of money it costs me every single month. All it is insurance, and it's actually $185 a month. Second highest, first is the Huracan, and it's not even close to the Huracan, but 185 bucks for a car that makes 650 horsepower from the factory is pretty crazy. Granted, this is a Corvette. The typical people that own these are older guys that probably never crash, so it makes sense, but still, $185, it's not bad. Now, I feel like someone's gonna ask if these numbers are full coverage or not. Yes, every single car is on full coverage except for one. One's on no coverage, and that is the Camry. So the Camry is technically the cheapest car because it costs me $0 every single month. So hard to shift with the left hand. We're not gonna go crazy. I don't want to get pulled over again. Now while we're here, let's add some more little ones into the mix. Another cost is this thing, my phone. That is $67 every single month for 2 years. I have about a year and a half paid off on it, so another half a year and that'll be $0. But by then, it's an iPhone. It probably will never hold a charge, and I'll have to buy a new phone. And then for the editing software, for you guys to watch all these videos, the editing software is $35 a month. So, not bad considering it generates income, but still, 35 bucks to be able to edit. Now this is the other car that's getting a special mod tonight, and this one is not maintenance. It's actually from Vet Lights, and it's gonna make the car look a whole lot better. So that one is not going in the garage. But before we get into the next car, let's go ahead and finish off everything on the house. So what we have left, we have water. The water bill here is typically $103 a month. And then we have my two subscriptions. One is to YouTube. I pay $19 a month to not have ads. And I pay $15 a month for my Instagram subscription for the blue check mark. I know, it's kind of dumb, but when you have a good following, you are at a lot higher risk of like people making fake accounts, and I want people to know that mine's legit, and the only way to have a blue check mark is to pay for it. So that's it for subscriptions for me. And then last is the house stuff. Now, we do modifications to the house. The wife put in these planter beds, which honestly are gonna produce some really good veggies this year. So we typically spend around $300 a month to do little modifications to the house. But now that is all the house stuff. So let me introduce you to my mortgage on wheels. My 2015 Lamborghini Huracan 610-4. Now, it's raining because there was a slight intermission between the last clip and this clip. I got hungry. So it is now a lot later, but we have a radar detector and we are going to slowly pull the car around front and try to be as quiet as possible because it is now 10:30 at night and we still gotta do a mod to the C7 and an oil change on the Supra. So it's gonna be a long night. But like I said earlier, we're going to Texas in a few hours, so I'm probably not even gonna go to bed. While the car is warming up, because I do want you to hear the Valvetronic exhaust again. You might have gotten bored of it by now, but I haven't. Let's go ahead and talk about the next big expense, the most expensive insurance payment I have on this car. I pay $296 every single month in insurance on this car. Now, for some people, you'd think that's cheap because honestly, I lucked out with my insurance costs. Some people ask why I have such cheap insurance. Well, I have 7 cars on a policy. I have a house and I'm married. And I think the only traffic violation I have recorded is a stop sign violation. So with all those into play, it lowers your payments per car a lot. But I also have a lot of cars and as you can tell by this video, a lot of expenses. All right, now the car is warmed up a little bit. We can give her a little bit of Valvetronic sauce. Sean and I have confirmed we are definitely taking this car to Seattle to go through their tunnels. In Seattle, there's one tunnel that's a mile long, I believe. We've hit it before in the C6 and the M4. But with this exhaust, it definitely has to happen with this car. But with all that aside, this is a second mortgage to me. This car is a lot of money and it's nice because it is a full write-off, and I'll be honest, since this is my job, I do make money from this car, but it is not a ton of money. It's enough money to pay for the car and the expenses that like it brings, but it's not like I make a huge profit from it. It's one of those cars that basically is like a staple to the channel and is important to the channel, but it's not like a huge ROI car in terms of monetary value. So with that being said, this car cost me, let me grab the paper. Wait a minute. Actually, underpass. I'll grab the paper in 1 sec. So, this car is gonna be the next huge number in this video. I pay $3,266 a month for this thing, plus the $296 in insurance as well. So this is a heavy hitter, over 3,500 bucks a month, but as you can hear, it's so worth it. But expenses left. And the last big one we'll go ahead and share right now, and that is living expenses. So normal stuff, food for my wife and I, health insurance, all that stuff. Averaged out over the months, at least for this year, we're saying around $1,500, which is crazy. The cars are a significant amount more than just the normal living expenses. But at the end of the day, they are what literally put the bread on the table. But now let's go ahead and go home and get probably the car that we shouldn't really be driving in the rain that much, the C6. It has tires that maybe are not built for this weather as well as this car's tires. Yeah, this car needs to go in the garage before we go to jail. There are no mods for this car that we're doing tonight. However, there is one really big mod that is going to be done very soon, the twin turbo kit. I just received word that the twin turbo kit company got my 1016 bumper, which means they can begin fabbing the system. And they're hoping for the system to be completely done in the middle of May, which means that this car should be twin turboed early June. That's gonna be crazy. Let's just put it that way. Okay, neighbors, I am very sorry about this one. Now, valves should be closed. Believe it or not, that is closed. I feel really bad right now, but we gotta drive this car to finish the video. Got to. However, I'm beginning to think we don't, and I typically don't say this, I don't think we should do the mods on the other two cars. Just because it's so late, and I do have a flight tomorrow, but I will tell you what the mods are. We have new laser reflectors from Vet Lights that are gonna go on the C7, but we're gonna do that when we get back home. This car has to go in the shop. This car has to go in the shop when we get back. Now, unlike the C7, this car is really fun to drive because it's fast and it sounds fast. Okay. This car is a lot faster than the C7. This car is a lot faster than the C7. And I just got brand new tires put on it too. We don't have the R888s anymore. They're this brand called Kenda. And I did a lot of research on them, and a lot of people, especially drifters, said that they're really good tires and they're really grippy. So I took my chance on them, and so far I like them. They handle really well in the rain. So that's good. The R888s were terrible. They would not have hooked as good as these did once we did hook. Now, even though this car is going away, I am definitely going to miss it. This thing, it's rowdy. It's rowdy for sure. Now, as you can see, this car is the loudest. And it's not just the loudest, it's also the second cheapest in insurance. This car costs $135 a month, which honestly is not bad. And if this wasn't my business, I could definitely justify keeping this car forever. But since this is my business, this car, unlike the M4, I don't want to keep forever. It's just, I've had my fun, I've built it to what I want it to be, and I've done everything that I want to do to it. So this car is going to be leaving relatively soon, but we're not going to talk about that in today's video. Now there are 2 other expenses left, and you're gonna meet one of them in a little bit. But the final thing that's on my insurance is the Jeep, which is the practical car. And that car costs $63 a month in insurance, so that's the cheapest. And then last but certainly not least, our dog, our Great Dane, Wraith, who currently costs around $75 a month to feed and take care of. However, he only weighs 85 pounds, and he's supposed to gain another 90. So I have a feeling that $75 might double in the near future. Red light, stay calm. Okay, it's gone. That would have been a really bad way to end the night. The last car we get pulled over in. We're gonna take a left, actually. Yeah, we're gonna take a left. I don't know where he's coming from, but we'll see you back at home. When it's not 11:41. It's so late. Now, if I've done the math right in the filming of this video, the total costs I have reoccurring, that doesn't count the mods and extra stuff, clothes that we end up getting or anything like that, just the bare minimum, $11,569. And he's wanting to be the center of attention right now. There's my $75 a month expense. What? Wait, you camera shy? But on that note, I think it's gonna be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the bell. Hopefully this clears the air on basically what my expenses are down to a T. And if you wanna find out what I'm doing in Texas, that'll be on the second channel, Schnatter Nights. And at the filming of this video, that video should be up or up tomorrow. Yeah, it's a very expensive hobby and a very expensive lifestyle, but I can confidently tell you that I'm not spreading myself thin. I do make enough money to be able to put money into an investment account and stuff like that as well. But at this stage of the business, this kind of is my investment account as well. So a lot of my money does go back into the business. But I'll see you guys in the next video. And the next video is going to be quite interesting. I'll see you guys next time. Drive safe.